Hello everyone, welcome to Node University Short Lectures. My name is Azat Mardan. I am the founder and the lead instructor at Node University. In this short episode, I want to talk with you about Express. Express is the most popular Node.js framework. In the previous episode, we've talked about how good it is to work with Node.js but when you build networking applications, because there is a built-in module that allows you to work with HTTP, another module that allows you to work with HTTPS and HTTP2 as well. There is the third module. So networking is built into Node.js, but guess what? Most of Node developers, they do not rely on the core modules. Why? Because oftentimes you have to implement a lot of code by yourself, which you don't want to do. For example, URL routing, how you would do that, or parsing of the URL parameters from the URL path or the URL value. You would need to implement a regular expression to do that with the core HTTP module. So that's why a lot of Node developers, they rely on a framework such as Express. And Express was very early on, so it's captured a lot of attention, and now you have a very big ecosystem of plugins for Express. And Express is very mature. It's tested in many production level applications at a very high scale, so it's a great choice. So let's dive deeper into Express. It's flexible. It's very flexible because it allows you to configure pretty much anything. Unlike some other frameworks which use convention over configuration, Express uses configuration over convention. So you can configure pretty much anything. Some of those values, they would be default values, so you don't have to configure unless you really want to, but it's very powerful because you can configure pretty much anything. Express has built-in ability to generate server-side templating, server-side HTML. So you can build traditional web applications, but in the modern web development, we build RESTful APIs and then we build front-end applications which consume those RESTful APIs along with mobile applications and other clients. So with Express, you can build both. You can build server-side HTML generating web application, or you can build a RESTful API, or you can build a GraphQL API. So Express allows you to organize those routes really nicely. You can organize them in different files, different folders, so you can modularize your application. You can get the URL parameter parsing for free, so that you don't need to use regular expression. Express will take that object ID, take that document ID, and populate a special object, request.params. In that object, you will get access to all the URL parameters, and the way you define them, you would use a colon. For example, messages/:ID. So ID would be that name in request.params. So it would be request.params.id. Couple more features which Express gives you for free. One of them is a query string. So query string has a special information which is a URL encoded. And query string, the way it looks like, it follows the question mark. So after the question mark, you would have a key, and then you have an equal sign, and then you would have a parameter. You would have a value. And then if you have a second key value pair, you would have an ampersand sign, an and sign in English, and then you would have key2 equals value2, then you have ampersand sign, key3 equals value 3, etc. So Express again does it automatically, and all you need to do is just access request.query. Then Middleware. Middleware, it's a name for the Express plugin. Express has many plugins. They can do pretty much anything you ever wish to do in your web application. I bet there is a middleware for pretty much all the functionality that you would normally do. Parsing of the payload, the incoming payload from the client. authentication, data validation, web sessions, the storage for the web sessions, security headers, and all kinds of functionality can be enabled by the usage of middleware. So think about Express as the very foundational layer, and then you build your own framework by picking and choosing only the middleware that you actually need, that you actually want in your application. That's what makes Express so brilliant, so great. It allows you to configure pretty much anything and to build your own framework out of the thin layer of the Express. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode of Node University Short Lectures.